Choosing a hot hatch used to be a simple task.
Behind us is the Suzuki Swift Sport.
Now this is the hot hatch that stands out from the crowd, and it's not just its looks. I mean, okay, its looks are pretty staggering, but it'll pull 0 to 60 in about 8.1 seconds.
I was going to say, don't forget that performance.
Yeah, it's 140 horsepower and it uses something called a booster jet. Now, booster jet is a 1.4 turbocharged engine.
Well, that's the surprising thing about this car. It has the same power output as an ST line Fiesta, yet weighs considerably less and is cheaper.
And the thing that gets me is that pricing bracket. Well, you've got one.
17,999. There's no options.
Nope.
And you have the manual gearbox and one engine to choose from. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? 6-speed. It's well kitted out. It's comfortable, and it goes around corners like it's on rails.
I'm going to be taking a look at the interior, the practicality, the functionality.
I'll be looking at the exterior, the styling.
We'll then both be driving it to bring you our verdict on whether or not this is the car for you.
Now, if you like cars, well, why not subscribe to our channel? You'll see the latest car reviews and car show coverage. Thanks very much.
Stepping into the car, you're met with a sporty experience with these bucket seats, the leather-wrapped flat-bottom steering wheel, the lever around the gaiter for the gear shifter. The dashboard does have some hard plastics, but it's lightened up with these red inlays. It would have been nice to see something like a comfort pack, but this car does cost less than its rivals. When it comes to functionality, you have all-around electric windows, power folding heated door mirrors, lane keep assist, collision detection, your start engine stop button. On the steering wheel you have your media controls, your adaptive cruise control. You also have automatic headlamps with high beam assist, your fuel computer which has your boost gauge and shows things like your economy. Your infotainment system has DAB radio, satellite navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have your automatic digital air conditioning, a 12-volt socket, USB and auxiliary. You also have a reversing camera. When it comes to practicality, I have lots of adjustment in the seat. It is all done manually, but I have lots of headroom and lots of legroom. There's height and reach adjustment in the steering wheel. You have decent sized door bins, 2 cup holders in the middle here, somewhere to store your phone, a little tray below the handbrake, and a decent sized glove box. Overall, I'm very impressed with the Swift Sport. What you have to remember is all of the equipment on this car is standard. The stereo system is very good. You have 4 speakers and 2 tweeters. It might have been nice to see a sunroof, but that's to save weight. Stepping into the back of the car is nice and easy. The doors open nice and wide, and this rear seat isn't too low. Once you're back here, it gets even better because I have a decent amount of headroom considering I'm 6 foot tall. And this seat's set up for Ben, he's 6'3", and I've got an ample amount of legroom too. You could fit 2 adults back here, not a problem. 3 children, not a problem. But the surprising part is, you could fit a 3rd adult in this middle seat. You would be rubbing shoulders, but for this class of car, it's very impressive. When it comes to storage and functionality, you do have a bottle holder in the door, electric windows. It would have been nice to see some soft touch materials on the door cards, maybe a reading light. The privacy glass doesn't make it too dark back here. You have also got ISOFIX points and curtain side airbags. Overall, for a hot hatch, the practicality in this car is very good. Coming round to the boot of the car, you don't have a release on the key fob, but you do have keyless entry. Once you're back here, you have 265 litres of boot space. Once the seats are folded down, that increases to 579. They are also split folding, and underneath the boot floor, you have your inflation kit. It would have been nice to see a false floor. It would just reduce the load lip. It would also make it easier to load longer items and give you some hidden storage. You have also got tethering points.
Now at the front of the car, well, you can see it's a hot hatch. Everything from this sculpture through to the carbon fibre style trim. Overall, it's just got a very wide road presence and it looks rather cool. Now the Swift is rather teched up. You've got collision detection and you've got well, adaptive cruise control. You don't expect that kind of thing on this type of car. You've also got automatic headlamps, you've got LED daytime running lights, front fogs, and overall, well, it's quite advanced for the price. Coming to the side of the vehicles, you're first met with 17-inch alloy wheels. You've got low-profile tyres as well, and that adds to that sporty look. I also like this A-pillar with the black gloss as well. Just gives it that, well, hot hatch look. You've also got the side skirts, which are done in the carbon fibre style trim, power folding door mirrors, keyless entry, privacy glass, and don't forget that beasting aerial. Now that just makes it look, well, like a classic hot hatch. Stepping around the rear of the car, the first thing I noticed is, well, this whole rear diffuser with the twin exhausts looks very Abarthy. It does have that kind of hot hatch look. It's well sculpted, especially with those rear lenses and the body lines that flow down the back. It just looks very, very smart. You've also got your reversing camera, high level brake light, and overall, well, the look of it is just very, very impressive. What's the Suzuki Swift Sport like to drive? Well, it reminds me of the old hot hatches of, well, yesteryear. It's very light, weighing in at 975 kilograms, which means it's rather agile, punchy. It's got a 1.4 booster jet, which is a turbocharged engine, and it develops 140 PS.
It has about the same power to weight ratio as your Mark II Golf.
Exactly, that's crazy, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Like, there's competitors where they have similar amounts of power,
yeah,
but the cars weigh considerably more, so the performance doesn't even come close to the way this thing goes around corners.
Well, that's it, you can whip it round a corner, literally, you can feel it flex. It drives like the old 205s because it's so light.
That's it, the steering is so precise.
Yeah.
The ride is surprising actually, because it's firm so that you can go around corners spiritedly,
yeah,
but it's not outrageously uncomfortable.
No, it's not. It's also pretty quick.
You have a great 6-speed short shift gearbox. It's not notchy, it's very nice, it has a nice throw to it, the ratios are very good.
Yeah.
I think 6 is only there for economy.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if
it does help though, doesn't it?
Well, I think if you're still accelerating by 5th, 6th, you're going to be doing well over the speed limit.
Yeah, but saying that, this car does actually have, I think it says a top speed of 130 miles an hour out of a 1.4.
I think it would definitely be able to do that. Like we've driven this car on the motorway, and you put your foot down,
it can get to 70 quickly, can't it?
It can, and it could go well beyond that very easily. I think it makes a nice noise as well.
Yeah, it's not too raucous though.
That's it. It's enough so that you can hear it, but it won't annoy the neighbours.
Exactly.
And the brakes, well, they're out of this world. You have all-round disc brakes with the disc brakes on the front being vented.
Probably shouldn't be driving like this while we're reviewing.
I was going to say, it's making it slightly difficult. And this car just has such stopping power, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's uncanny how it can stop and go around a corner. I think its biggest problem is it's spinning its wheels.
Yeah, it's that quick, isn't it? With that turbocharger, it does. If you really floor it, it'll have a bit of an issue getting grip. But then when it does grip, it'll pin you, won't it?
That's it. It has.
That looks a bit wide.
An incredible amount of power. But then you also feel very safe with the very good brakes and also the collision detection, the adaptive cruise control. It's not like it's, unequipped, it has everything.
Oh, it's very well tech loaded, isn't it? Especially for that price.
That's it, and of course none of these things are options, it's all standard.
Yeah, I know. It's a very clever car, it's very good for the money. You get everything, you get your handling, you get your performance, and you get your safety as well.
It's also economical. I drove it up from Nottingham, yeah, and I got around 46 mpg.
46 I think is very good for something like this, because the equivalent, say back in the 90s, would be doing 30.
Yeah, exactly.
38 if you do 56 everywhere. Well, whereas this, you can drive it like that and still get good economy.
I didn't drive it particularly economical. I was sensible.
Yes.
But I wasn't hypermiling like you have to with some cars to get anything like that economy.
Yes, exactly.
And it did it with ease. I think you could quite easily get the claim around 50 mpg in this car.
Yeah. Combined, I think, is something like 46.5. But if you are willing to hold it down, then you'll get quite a bit more by the look of it.
Well, even after this run we've just done now, and you've really
Just under 40?
Yeah, we're getting 39.6.
Yeah.
And that's after that's after really. I think you'd actually struggle to get this car's economy down to about 30.
Yeah, you would. I like the steering as well. It feels very weighted.
Yes. But
it's not weighted that you can still whip it, if that makes sense.
Yes, and also you can still manoeuvre the car. It's still got very good visibility. It's still very, very usable. In fact, I think on sort of the scale of hot hatches, this is actually far more on the usable side of things.
Yes, as in you can use more of the power all of the time.
Yeah, you can use all the power all of the time. The ride is firm but not too firm.
Yes.
The steering is weighted but not overly heavy. It's all very usable.
Yes, it is. I do love it. It does, like I said, remind me of hot hatches.
I'm very impressed. And
visibility is good as well, especially with this
high window line.
Yeah, when you manoeuvre it, especially with the reversing camera, it's very simple.
They've got that ratio right. If I'd rather, sacrifice some of the comforts for having a really nice car to drive.
Well, you and I have been battling over who's driving it, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been another one of those, hasn't it?
Yes.
And I think also with its 0 to 60 figure of 8.1, I don't think that's actually where this car has its peak performance.
No.
I think it's from about 40 to 70, and above.
But it's no slouch down low in the gears either.
Oh no, it's incredible fun. What's our verdict of the Suzuki Swift Sport?
Well, it's pretty much your ultimate hot hatch, isn't it? I mean, it's corners like it's on rails. It does 0 to 60 in 8.1 seconds. It'll top out at 130 miles an hour.
It's a great car to drive. It only weighs 975 kilos.
It's quite tech loaded as well. You've got adaptive cruise control, you've got your automatic lamps, and you've got collision detection as well.
Well, it's considerably cheaper than its rivals. It's only got £140 road tax, and it's economical, doing about 45 to a gallon.
Yeah, I know. It's something you don't expect from that kind of engine, isn't it? I mean, 1.4 booster jet turbo engine, but it's practical as well with that headroom in the back.
Well, that's it. You can fit a 6-foot adult in the front and in the back, and put luggage in the boot all at the same time.
Yeah, it really is a really cool car.
If you're in the market for a hot hatch, it's well worth taking a look at the Suzuki Swift Sport.
For more impartial car reviews, please subscribe to our channel.